Okay, welcome back for the second part of inequalities, which is systems of inequalities. Just to recap from last time, we have two different ways that we can write a linear equation. One is, of course, the general form, or y equals mx plus b, and one is standard form. We're going to be using both of these. So the only difference between this video and the last one is that we are doing two equations at once instead of just one. But the process is going to be exactly the same. So I am going to start by color coding what I'm going to write with so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to start by graphing this first line. So right away, I notice that it's in y equals mx plus b, which means that I have a slope and I have a y-intercept. So I'm going to start at -4, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1 till I have a nice neat line. This is going to be a dashed line, so I'm going to go ahead and connect these dots with a dash. And then I am going to shade accordingly. So it is a greater than symbol, which means I want to be greater than my y-intercept of -4, which also you can think of shading above. So I'm going to go ahead and shade above. I'm going to go on to my second line now. It is also in y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to follow that same process and start at 6. This time my slope is negative, so I'm going to go down 3 over 1. So I have enough dots to create a line. This is also dashed. So I'm going to go ahead and dash this line. And then I am now going to shade. I have a less than symbol here, so I want to be below 6. So I'm going to shade below my line. And as you see here, we shaded this area twice. So I'm going to go ahead and make this area really dark because that's basically where our solutions to the system are. So anything in this really dark area is what we want as a solution. Okay? So for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. So I have 1 and I have line 2. And I'm going to start by identifying that this is in standard form. So in order to graph, I need to get it into general form because we don't graph in standard form. So I'm going to do that off to the side quickly. And of course, in order to get it into general form, I need to solve for my y. So I'm going to move over my 6x, bring everything down, and divide everything by 3. This is the same one I did in the last video, as you probably have noticed by now, but it is the same equation. So I'm going to go ahead and graph it the same exact way. I'm going to start by going to 4, and I'm going to go down 2 over 1. And I'm going to connect my dots with a solid line. The reason this line is solid is we have an equal to here. Over here we did not, so both of our lines were dashed. It is a less than symbol, so I want to shade below. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to shade below my line. Oops, I'll go ahead and make sure I shade that really obviously there. Okay. So then for the next one, it is in slope intercept general form. So I'm going to go ahead and start at -8. And I'm going to go up 1 over 2 because my slope is 1/2. So that is a little bit different. So just remember fractions, rise over run, up 1 over 2, whereas like this one, you put it over 1 and it's down 2 over 1. Okay? So I'm going to connect with a solid line. And this time I am shading above. It is a greater than symbol, so I want numbers bigger than -8. So that would be all of this. And this is my double shaded area, so I'm going to make it really obvious that that is what I want to be looking at. I have a word problem here as well, so that you can graph a system with a word problem. All right, so North High Cross Country team is selling cookies and brownies at a bake sale. They have a total of 80 cookies and brownies. That's probably important. They are selling the cookies for $2 and brownies for $3. They have a goal of making at least $60. It says write a system of inequalities to represent the situation. So a system, I'm going to have two equations. Now if you notice, we have two totals. We have a total of the cookies and brownies, and we have a total about money. So really, we need a money equation, and we need a cookie-brownie equation. So the money equation is going to be a lot easier for us to come up with. We know cookies are $2 and brownies are $3. You guys are pretty good at that. The $60. The key word here is at least. At least. So we really want more than 60. We can be equal to 60, but we want more. So we want to be greater than. So bigger than 60. For the cookie and brownie equation, we know we have 80 cookies and brownies. But we don't need a number in front of x and y with this one because we're just talking about the total of cookies and brownies. We're not talking about how much they cost. So that's just x plus y. We only have 80. So we can be equal to 80, but we really want to be under that. Okay? Graph this system. So both of these are in standard form, which means we have a little bit more work to do with actually converting these into y equals mx plus b. So before I do anything, I want you to think about what your first step for this equation to convert it would be. So I'm going to start by subtracting 2x, canceling out, bringing down everything else. And then I am going to divide by 3. And when I divide by 3, I divide everything by 3. So 60 is divided by 3, and 2 is divided by 3. Which, of course, is a fraction. It's not very nice, and that is okay. Just leave it as a fraction, and we're going to go ahead and graph this line. So we're going to start at 20, and we're going to go down 2 over 3, because I'm labeling by the same amount on each side, down 2 over 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, there we go. And it is a solid because of the equal to, and it is greater than. So actually what we want is everything above this. I'm going to be kind of non-specific about that right now because we will shade it in a little bit nicer in a second here. Then we've got cookies and brownies. We also need to convert this into a y equals mx plus b equation. This one's pretty nice because there's only one step. All we got to do is move our x. And we have 80 minus x, which means that our y-intercept is 80. And we're going to go down 1 over 1, which is going to take us quite a while. If you can think about it, though, that just means we're going to connect up with 80 on this side as well if we just keep going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1 the entire time. So I'm just going to link those two up. Makes sense. This is our graph. We are graphing cookies and brownies, right? X is our cookies and Y is our brownies. So if I'm selling 80 brownies, I don't have any cookies. And if I'm selling 80 cookies, I don't have any brownies. We are less than, so we want to be underneath. means all of this underneath, which if you see, we do have a double shaded portion here, and that is where my solutions are located. So if I wanted to find a point here and say whether or not it worked, I could say, for instance, 1525. So that's telling me X and Y. Well, X is cookies, and Y is brownies. So if I sell 15 cookies and 25 brownies, I'm going to make my goal, and I'm going to be under the total amount. So that's systems. Go ahead and use these videos however you like. You can pause them, you can fill out the notes that I attach, but either way, I'm hoping this is a good way for you guys to review inequalities. See you in the next video.